Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Compact Claustrophobia. So, since the last episode, it hasn't been a ton of time because I'm ready to move on to kind of our next project, which is getting our reactors actually set up and automated. However, I was doing some thinking, and I think it's going to be best because, like, right now, I would have our power set up right in the core power network right here, right? Which I do have a compact machine. It's going to be just one of these. I don't really need a big one because it's all set up, in other compact machines. And I would have to move my materials over from here, and I don't really want to run a bunch of item ducts to do that, because as you know, the way that the item ducts work with transferring through like multiple compact machines to go from, to a source to an output, I would have to do buffers on every end. It's not really ideal. And so I decided what we're going to do today, we're actually going to start off with getting refined storage. At long last, we're going to go ahead and we are going to make ourselves a refined storage network. And that way we can just plug everything up now to refined storage. We might as well go ahead and do it because I did test it. Refined storage works fine across multiple like layered compact machines, unlike, item ducts or something like that. Now, it's possible that item conduits may work better. I think they do. But, we could push into those, but we could also just as easily move into refined storage. And so I think that's what we're going to do. Now, I have prepped up, I got some more diamond nuggets made. Now that we have our dark oak farm, it's a whole lot easier to do that kind of stuff. But to actually start into refined storage, to make our controller, we are going to need quartz enriched iron. Like lots of it, and we are going to need the advanced processors. That's fine. We're going to need processor binding also, so porcelain clay. Let me go ahead, we're going to go ahead and just make a big bulk amount of this stuff. I think it's that might be a little bit much. I think we'll just go with that. That's going to give us 4 stacks of our quartz enriched iron to get us started, and then stone, and we got a quest complete, and there's our machine casing. If we take a look at the quests here, okay, that's actually the last, well, then there's this. Okay, so let me pop over, let me get some string. Oh, this is filled up. So there's that. There's the processor binding. We're also going to need a bunch of the porcelain clay. Now, we're going to be using these for every single processor. Okay, well that means we're going to have to do a bunch of sieving. I don't have sieving automated yet. That's something I just haven't bothered doing. I might just make some additional sieves. The clay's not too bad at least, so at least there's that. This is, that's finally full. Okay. Realistically, I mean, we could go ahead and we could automate sieving. That would be fine. But I don't think I'm going to bother with it, because I don't think it's something that we necessarily need. Then let me go ahead and just make some more sieves. There's 9. And then we're going to go ahead and get 8 more string mesh. So we can kind of do this on a larger scale. And that's just going to make our lives a bit easier. So let's go ahead, do that, because all this connects. That's why I don't think I'm going to bother automating sieving. We don't use it that much within this pack. We use it on occasion, but not, super heavy. I may even upgrade it to a 5x5. But there's 13 bone meal. So that's pretty good, I guess. Because I don't have the diamond nuggets anyways to go super crazy with refined storage. External storage. Oh no, that takes basic processors. Let's go ahead and just make a few basic processors while we're at it, because I know we're going to need it. Let me go ahead. I'm just going to make 12. There's that. And we'll go ahead and get this stuff cooked up. Let me go ahead and there's 11 more processor binding. There's 11 of those. That'll be fine. Okay, so now what we can do, the controller, we can go ahead and just get that. There we go. The grid, we're going to need glass, we're going to need the machine casing. I really don't need like super massive like tons of storage within this pack. One disk drive is going to be plenty for the entire pack. There's no reason to go too crazy with things, I don't think. So there's 2 machine casings. We're going to need the construction core, and we're going to need the destruction core, and we're going to need just a little bit of glass. So there's the grid, and then for the disk drive, we need another advanced processor. That's fine. Okay, I went ahead and made 2 of these because I think we'll probably end up using like at least 1 more. I know most of the diamonds that we're going to be using are going to be for construction cores, though. Alright, so let's go ahead. We will get our, one other thing I needed here, a chest. There's our disk drive. And that's going to finish out the quest. So we are now done with refined storage quest, but we still have a lot to do. We haven't even set anything up yet. Let's go ahead and get ourselves, I'm going to want maybe 60 cables. That should be good for the time being, I think. And then I'm also going to want external storage for starters. So we're going to need one of those. I'm going to want more of them though, for sure. But we can get more here shortly. There we go. And let's see. What else do we want for right now? Right now we have a grid. I'd rather have a crafting grid though. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade this. It's going to be an advanced processor and a crafting table. And we should probably go ahead and make a storage disk. So let's see. Do we want to shoot for a 64K? That's advanced processors. 16K. I like 16K more, I think. So 4K, and then we'll get a 16K. I'm not going to bother with the 64K. Until we get diamonds, easier, I'm not going to bother with it. So there's 16K storage part, and then we're just going to turn that into 16K storage disk. There we go. And transmitters and receivers we may use, but honestly, I don't know that's really necessary within this pack. We'll probably not get into like crafting automation this episode, so I think that's pretty good for us. Okay, and I'm going to grab some tunnels. I got some made up here because I was planning on running. At first I was like, well, I might run item ducts, and I was like, no, that sounds terrible. Let's see. I think we're going to come in up here, actually. Now, eventually these are going to be external storage that runs across, but for right now, because I want to be cheap and not have to make too many external storages all at once, because it's going to be a lot easier once we get diamonds, we're going to run an external storage to here. And we're going to say that it's going to be the upside on this, and we're going to go ahead and just pop out. Now, I'm going to move this compact machine. These rooms are probably way overkill, realistically. But that's okay. Let's see. That's going to come out... Like, if I come out, that's going to be... Passive Material Workshop. Yeah, let's come out the... We'll come out right here. So, on the east side, we'll put in a cable there. We'll go ahead and switch this over to the east side. Oh, and then let me run a piece of cable up through there, and we're going to come out. See, I think a lot of this room is going to end up getting destroyed unless I get a bigger one, because refined storage doesn't have a facades of any kind. That's fine though. Alright, so we'll just go ahead, break this off, and run our cable over like that. And I also want to run a cable here as well. This is going to be on the south side. So what we're going to do, let's put in a tunnel here. This is going to be on the south side where that cable comes out. We will bring that cable through. And here's where we're going to set up our controller. We're also going to set up our crafting grid. Let me set this here. And then our disk drive. Okay. Or actually, let's not do the controller here. Let's just run out that cable, put the crafting grid, the disk drive, like so. This should power the disk drive, I believe. And if we drop this into there, we'll have 16K of storage. Okay, so let's pop back out. Let me go grab, whoops, I went too far back. Right here is where we're going to have our core power network. It's just going to be a normal compact. These are a lot cheaper to make. I like making them more at the moment. And we are going to run out, this is going to be here. And we're going to set this to the south side. That's where the cable's at. Here's where we're going to have our controller for our refined storage system. And then let me pop back over. Let me grab this at this point. This is our reactor, of course. And our core power network, we're going to have our reactors set up here. So we're going to run this cable just over it like that. And then we're going to have a tunnel that sets here, and it's going to be on the upside. Is what we're going to do. Okay, now what we need to do, let's pop in here real quick. I'll tell you what, actually, instead of having, the cable doesn't have to connect over. The cable, it's just going to be easier if we have the controller here. The cable can run just into this room, I think. And let's move the compact machine over to say here. And then what we're going to do, let's see, let's go ahead and get power running to this. So what we're going to do, let me see about a couple things here. I'll tell you what, the Voltaic piles aren't that bad. We need blocks of magnesium. I'll probably go ahead and upgrade because this one only stores 1 million. We could pretty easily make this one that stores 6.4 million. Okay, I think 6 million is fine. We're not using that much power. We will upgrade it, I'm sure. Well, maybe. Maybe we will. But we'll see. But then we're going to need 12 copper solenoids. I don't think we need them for this now. And then we'll need the basic plating. That, I know I'm going to need more, but I just want to get these crafted out. So there's 3 of those. And then we need basically just the advanced plating. Get 4 of those, 4 of those, and we'll get our advanced voltaic pile. Now what would it take to push for these? They're not that bad. It's just a whole lot of just micro crafting. And this one stores 102 million RF. Whew. Elite plating. Oh, it takes crystal binder. We'll need rock crusher for that, but that's fine. That's fine. We're gonna go with this one. Let me get now that we've got that, the Ender energy conduits can move a lot of power. I don't think these are going to be that expensive for us because I think this is all default. Oh, but glowstone. We're not going to be able to do the glowstone yet. That's fine. What about... Okay, I guess I'm out of leadstone flux ducts. Maybe I used them. Let me just go ahead... Grab some more redstone here. Let me go ahead and get just like 18 of these. And I'm just going to upgrade them. So we'll just go ahead and do our hardened flux ducts. So there's 18 of those. These will be fine for right now. That's enough power movement. Okay, so let's pop back over to here. We're going to set up our advanced voltaic pile. I think I'm just going to set it up here. And we are going to have the... Whoops. Top side be output. Blue's input, red's output. So we're going to set red there. We're going to keep blue there. And we're going to run out this. Do that. Do that. And then let's go ahead and do that also. Okay, so now we should be able to pop in here. Honestly, I'll probably end up making more fission reactor ports, I think. So this one's just going to manage power. So we're going to change this over to the hardened flux duct, which will be our north side. Run that over, and we should see just a little bit of power draining out of that. It's only going to move 4,000 per tick. It's not much. What does the top tier flux ducts move? 25,000 RF. I think pushing for resonant pretty quick is going to be important for us. Actually, I know we're planning. Yeah, that's good. We're going to push for the resonant flux duct before long, though, because we're going to need that realistically to do the, and that's going to move 25,000, which, yeah, we'll be able to cover almost 2 reactors with a single pipe. Okay. This one does 16,000. We might actually push for that today, because 4,000, it just feels weak. But if we pop out and we take a look here, you can see we have 6.4 million RF going to our advanced voltaic pile. Our controller is running. If we pop over to our this building, we can see that we have 6.7 thousand uranium inside the crafting grid right here. So that's good, and we have storage space, so if we want to throw in, you know, something like chests, we can do that now. So that's good. Alright, so what we're going to do is, let me pop over, let's pop over and let's take our isotope separator. And what we're going to do, let's pop over to the, well actually I need to grab a couple things out of here. We've got sequential fabricators, we've got isotope separator. Let me also get a cache. And then let me grab some item ducts and stuff too. And I think I'm going to set up the automation because we're going to have a few reactors in this room. So I'm just going to set up the isotope separation automation over here, I think. I think it makes sense. This is going to be, you know, kind of just compact machines that all feed into power storage and energy transfer that will grow as needed. I'm not just going to make like a big setup. It'll grow as needed. And I think, what all does it take to make cryo stabilized flux ducts? Because these are the infinite transfer, and these are going to take the resonant and then some electrum and stuff. Those might be worth looking into. Once we get our refined storage up and going, just go ahead and automate that whole process. Which, yeah, there's not really any reason to even go with conduits. Because, like, all this is, like, doable. And that's actually very easy to do. The cryothium would be the worst part for us at the moment. And even that's not terrible. Because of this method here. But we need an XP farm for that. So that might be something that we move to before too long. Just going ahead and pushing on for cryo-stabilized flux ducts, maybe. Or at least resonant would be nice. And get those automated. Because I think that's how we're just going to move power. Just have one big hulking power system, power line that just runs through the base. I think that would be quite good. So what we're going to do is, let's set up our isotope separator. This is going to set... we're going to have this setting here. Okay, so it's got power. We're going to throw some speed upgrades. We'll throw like 4 in there. This is just going to be an automatic system, so actually it won't need a ton of speed, realistically. And let me get one other thing from refined storage. And that is going to be a exporter. Alright, so there's our exporter. Okay. Now, and let me grab just a piece of this uranium also. Then if we pop out, we go over here to our core power network, and we've set up our exporter. We're going to have that there, and we're going to tell it to export uranium. So it's going to dump uranium into there, into the isotope separator. So that should be good. That's going to start running. It's going to make us our uranium-238 and our tiny clumps of uranium. Let's see, that only takes 360. I'll go ahead and put 5 in there. And then what we're going to do, we're going to put our sequential fabricator here. We're just going to leave this as a basic. And we're going to run out, I need the, what all does it take? Is it much, if it is, I'm not worried about it, but the, oh yeah, these are going to be like signalum to move power and items. I'm not that worried. And they're capped at 4,000. Now I'm not going to worry about it. Let's see. And really what I can do is just run this back. And we'll have our power line run back there. So this will get fed power. You can see power transfer is just slow with these. So our sequential fabricator, it's got power. Let's go ahead. We're going to run out an item duct here. We're going to put in a servo. And we're going to say that you're going to get these tiny clumps of, you're going to take out these tiny clumps of uranium-235 only. And we'll go ahead and ignore, and it can just send those over. Insert on the left-hand side. So we should see this start sending over. There we go. There's our tiny clumps of uranium-235. And so we're going to tell it that you can take these and you can make uranium-235. And then what we'll do is that's going to get sent up, and we're going to have, let's do a cache that sits here. It's going to accept the uranium-238. We'll go ahead and lock that in, and no, wrong cable. We'll just do an item duct that comes up, and then we're going to have our reinforced servo. Ignore. We don't have to set a filter on this one, of course, because it's only going to be able to pull out that 238. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set in our other sequential fabricator that sits right here. And this one's going to have an augment for pattern validation. So it can only pull in things. We're going to say the left-hand side and the bottom. And the recipe that it's going to be doing is going to take 8 of these and 1 of these. And it's going to be, of course, this pattern right there for the LEU 235 fuel. So we'll lock that in, and then we'll set auto input to enabled. There we go. It's going to start pulling that stuff in. And the and then we're going to set output up on this. Okay, so it can now make LEU 235 fuel for us, and it's going to be based, of course, on this isotope separator. I'm definitely going to need to speed this up. Yeah, let's see what's waited. Let's go ahead and do the quest for that, because I've got plenty of lapis now, so I may as well just knock that out. So we'll get our stack of weighted pressure plates and 4 stacks of redstone. There's 64 of those. And that quest is done. Okay, let's pop back over real quick. And how many of these am I actually going to need to make this run at a reasonable speed? Because right now it's using 810. I wouldn't mind it using like 1,000 RF. There's 1,000. Okay, that's reasonable. I mean, if we take a look in here, we've got 6 LEU 235 fuel. That's fine. Okay, so now what we're going to do, let's set the output of this to the top side. That's what we're going to be making here. And then what we can do is just run that out. Right now I'm going to run it like that. If we pop in here, I'm going to make another fission reactor port. Yeah, this is tapped out on power. That's fine, because I can fill it right back up. And we'll be able to let this fuel cell run out. So we can get our... Well, I don't know if it's going to run out. We can get our first byproducts, though. Yeah, we've got 23 seconds. Yeah, we're going to fill it up before then. That's fine. Let's go ahead and put in a tunnel over on this side, or on this side. Let's just go ahead and do it here. We're going to say that this is going to be the upside where the item duct runs through, and we can just pull that out. and it's going to go into a fission reactor port. So the fission reactor port is cheap. I've got a couple of those extra left over, so this is going to be really, really easy. Okay, I went ahead and made some more item ducts, and I got some conduit binder. Let me pop over, let me get 3 silicon. I need 3 redstone alloy ingots. Okay, and let me grab that out. Let me take that. We got redstone transfer. Let me go ahead, toss that in. I'm actually going to change up one thing though. Let me pull off this. Let me take off these tunnels. And we're going to move the fission reactor port to here, I think. So let's break that down. Break that down. Do our fission reactor port there. And we'll put our casing back there. And we're going to do a tunnel here. That's an item duct. And that's the hardened flux duct. So we'll pull out the power right here. And we will bring in the items there. Okay. And that's going to pump across. That's great. Let me go ahead and hit this with a servo. Or, no, I don't really need a servo. Let me pull that off. Oops. Put the item duct there. And we'll say top is output, auto output enabled. It may not. Auto output. So let me actually do just a servo. We're going to try it like that. Ignore. There goes the fuel. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to break off this. And we're going to replace it with a fission reactor port also. Oh, there it went. And we got 26 in here. Great. This fission reactor port, we're going to have, if we go back out for just a second, we take a look here. We're going to set up an item duct that runs out the back side of this. And this one, that's the south. Yeah, should be the south side. We're going to go ahead and just plug this up here. I'll get to what that does here in just a second. And then what we're going to do, I've got a comparator here. Let's see. Let's move this. We're going to have a comparator coming out here. And we're going to put down a piece of redstone. And if we were to give this a redstone signal, and, you know, it started running and all that, and it's just about to finish one of these, but you can see that it's going to emit a power of 1. Of course, we showed this off in the first Enigmatica series. This fission reactor is going to emit a redstone signal based on how much power is stored within this buffer. And we're going to be reading off of each individual fission controller instead of off of like a main power bay. So each reactor can turn on and off as needed, and then this will just accept all the power that it can, right? It's going to be like filled up on our power bay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have that come out, and we're going to put a lever in, and this is going to be, I'm actually going to, let's see. Let's just do it. Actually, if we just put it here and we ran that across, that's going to be a signal of 12. Yeah, I think that's good. Signal 12. Let's put in just a, let's put in just like a block here. And let me go get one thing. We're going to make a redstone torch. There we go. go back to our core power network, go back in here, and we're going to do that. So basically if this reaches a power of 12 or higher, the signal will go through and shut off the redstone torch. And then what we're going to do is just put in a redstone conduit. That redstone conduit's going to come up, and we're going to connect that up. This is going to be an input on red, and this is going to output on red. So you can see that it's going to kick on now because there's not enough power in this to turn this off, right? And if we give it a minute, just because I don't want to waste power if we don't have to, because I'm not really breeding this, trying to get byproducts, nothing like that. I'm just wanting power generation. I think that's the extent of our nuclear craft. We're going to be doing a lot with nuclear craft, though, in Enigmatica, starting here before too long, actually. Yeah, you can see it just shut off. So it's going to toggle on and off a bit. We could do something. Ender IO is great for putting up a buffer. The power monitor. Oh, nice. For some reason, the developer for the pack has made the dies uncraftable. So you can't make simple machine chassis industrial machine chassis in this pack, because you can't make organic black dye or organic green dye, because normally, see, they're sag mill recipes. And since the sag mill is removed, it's made these recipes invalid, thus making the power monitor invalid. So I feel like that's probably an oversight, kind of a horrible thing, for sure. But it means we're not going to be able to go with the power monitor. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make a fuel reprocessor. This right here. Let me get that together. Okay, so there's our fuel reprocessor. We're just going to go ahead and grab that. Then let me pop back over. And what we're going to do, we're going to be getting depleted LEU 235 fuel from this. And what I want to do is I just want to attach a servo here. And we've got to run some item ducts. I think we'll probably do fuel reprocessing over on this side. So we'll just feed power over to that. And we're going to have our item ducts connect. Well, really, I guess probably just run around like that on this one. So that will be able to pump over the fuel into the depleted fuel over into this fuel reprocessor. So we'll go ahead and just speed that up. How many? That's 720, 980. We'll go 6, I think. I've got 9 in this one. Okay. And then what we'll do is we will just ignore redstone. And that should, yeah, there we go. It just pumped out the depleted fuel. That's going to get sent over now to our fuel reprocessor steadily. And we don't really need to worry about speed on these, though, in all honesty. It's going to come into here, and it's going to reprocess that fuel. And you can see that we get uranium. We get tiny clumps of uranium-238, which we can craft that back up into, this uranium 238, but it's not really necessary, because bear in mind that while making this fuel, we're getting more 238 than 235 by 1 per run of this. So we're going to get an excess of this, as you can see here, to the point that eventually we'll probably add a trash can with a dense item duct, so that it can send excess 238 into a trash can once, this cache fills up, which is going to take forever, because it would need a little over 20,000 fuel made before it can fill up that cache. So, but we're also going to get Neptunium-237 and Plutonium-239 and Plutonium-241, and this can be further refined into like new fuels. So, for example, we could make LEN-236 fuel, which is kind of a weak fuel. But then there's the oxide version, and then there's Hen-236, which is a pretty good fuel, requiring 236 and 237. And then we can use the plutonium and this right here, and we can make LEP 239, and we can use the 241 here to make, 241 fuel. So, and then those lead into more byproducts. There's tons of byproducts. Like I said, we'll be getting into all that stuff in Enigmatica a bit deeper, and setting up processing lines to produce those byproducts because they're useful in that pack. They're not all that useful to us in this pack. So I'm going to figure out what I want to do with these. I'll probably just feed them into... Honestly, I'll probably craft them and then just store them, I think. Is probably what I'll do for now. Just set up some caches or something here on this wall and let them just build up. But I don't know. I'll see. But I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode, probably a little bit past wrapping up point. So I'm going to wrap this one up here. But I think next episode we will be turning our attention over to the wood farm just to get, that constant wood automation going. And that means wood, charcoal, coal coke. It's going to make sure we have steel constantly running without needing to manually farm wood. And then we'll be able to stem that over into, where our sticks are being produced for our picks and things like that, which will be useful. And our treated wood sticks and whatnot. So we'll be diving into that next episode. Now that we have our little power area going. Honestly, I might make a couple more advanced voltaic piles. Probably. And I know here soon we're actually going to switch all this, or at least most of this. Probably not this line, because this line runs fine on 4000, but we will probably be switching over to infinite transfer pipes, or at least resonant pipes before too long, so we'll probably automate that through refined storage, I think, so that we can just order them. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I will see you guys then.